two Wi-Fi's, and I am so honored to be here. And I made a mistake. I should have sent a link to my wife to join us.
Okay, Dr. Krupong, we
please,
can do for
let
you.
me, is it okay? Can I invite my wife?
Yes, please invite her. So if you
Sorry?
want, yes, please go ahead and invite her. We'll make sure that she gets into
Okay,
the. If you can just take a moment and maybe just text me her number, and I'll make sure that she gets the link.
Awesome. Let me text to you. 470. Okay. Give it to you or text it to you.
Yeah, just text.
Okay. Oh, text it to you. Okay, 1 second.
Okay, so while he's doing that, I just want to say to everyone, thank you for being here today. I recognize that we have quite a few men that are joining us today, and I want to say again, thank you for being here. Originally, Girl on Fire is a ministry that's geared towards young women, but because Dr. Kwame Frimpong is an expert in relationships and this is what he does. He's a coach. He specializes in this. We decided to open it up at the last minute to all the men. So ladies, again, if you see men here on the call, don't feel shy and don't feel some sort of way. They're just here to be a fly on the wall. There will be a period of Q&A and it's going to be anonymous. So men, if you want to jump in on that and ask questions, you are more than welcome. Okay, I got your message. Thanks, Dr. Frimpong. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I welcome all of you men and wives and those who are about to get married and those who are in courtship and those who are dating and those who are praying, and all of you are welcome today. And we thank God for your life. It's going to be an amazing day today. And thank you for inviting me. My wife and I have been married for 31 years. So it was 31 years, 3 months ago, I think so. And yeah, so my wife's brother was my best friend. So that is how the connection was made. And that's how we connected. So one day I was doing some work with my best friend, and a lady showed up when they were working. And I said, "Who is this?" And he says, "It's my sister." People of God, that's the story behind how we married, okay? So that's it. And so I married my best friend's sister. Amen. I hope that makes sense. All right. So I am told that there are couples and people who are planning to marry with us. So I'm trying to, what I want to do is that I want to touch on couples for about 10 minutes. Then I will do singles for about 20 minutes. And then immediately I want you to ask me questions. I do best when people ask me questions. I do best. So I want to share. Let's talk about first couple. So I'm going to share my outline, but let me first pull up my information first. Stop sharing and get so the first thing I'm going to do is to talk about couples first for about 10 minutes. And then I'll go straight into singles or people who are preparing. So let's first talk about couples. So happy or unhappy married couples. The research differentiates between couples who are happy and couples who are not happy. And there are so many differences between them, but one major difference is in the area of communication. Communication. Now, communication comes from a root word, communicate. Communicate. In fact, communication, communion, sharing come from the same Greek word. Communication, communion, sharing. Anytime you're having Holy Communion, we are talking to God. Whenever we are having communication, we are sharing. If you are not talking to your spouse, you are not sharing your life. In fact, communication means we are really sharing our lives together. That's the whole essence of communication. Communication. Now, communication is different from talking. Everybody talk, but not everybody communicate. Everybody talk, but not everybody communicate. Especially when it comes to communication style. your communication style. I happen to believe that that's who I am is not what I should say about me. I should say I am becoming, because we are all becoming, we are all growing. But what's the difference between people who are happy, couples who are happy, and couples who are not happy? Is a major one is in the area of communication. Now, there are 6 aspects of it. You can see them all in what I'm sharing. Number 1, happily married couples, they talk more to each other. They talk more to each other. It is important. They have time to talk. They spend time to talk more. More unhappily married couples talk less to each other. They don't have the time to talk about. They don't have time. So if you are here and you want your marriage you want to be satisfied, talk more. Number 2, happily married couples convey their feelings, that they understand what is being said to them. They convey their feelings. For example, they use validation and empathy and convey the feelings. Is that there's a feelings, emotions that goes on in their communication. So first they talk, then they convey. Number 3, this is very important. They have a wider range of subjects available to them, a wider range. And I sometimes see about sometimes I see maybe, I used to see about 50 clients a week, okay? And so I talk a lot about couples, and couples who are happy have a wider range of subjects available. They pick this one, they pick this one, they pick this one, they pick this one, they keep talking and talking and talking. They talk a lot. But couples who are not happy have very less things to talk about. In fact, I didn't show you the slide today, but there are 5 levels of communication.
Oh, did we lose Dr. Frimpong? Let's see. Dr. Frimpong, are you with us? I think we've lost him. Oh, we lost him for a second. Okay, so while we wait for Dr. Frimpong to come back on, drop in the chat anything that he's just said that resonates. I put in the chat that everybody talks, but not everyone communicates. There's something that he has said. I see all of you getting busy. Great. There's something that he has said that has resonated, put it down. The other thing that he said that I was like, okay, interesting. The couples who talk more are the more successful ones in relationships. The more you talk, the more successful you are. Oh, he's back. Okay. Whatever you just heard that resonated, please put it in the chat. Happy couples speak more. Yeah, that's right. Okay, we
so
lost.
I'm sorry.
But we'll.
So now, so I changed to my other website. So my other Wi-Fi, and I think is going to oh. Okay, so can you, I'm requesting sharing.
Yes,
Sorry about that.
no problem. I'm going to make you a co-host.
Okay. Yeah. So I was saying that couples who are happy, the unhappily married couples talk about facts. Did the kids eat? Did they go to school? How was this? That's it. It's just facts, but they don't really get inside and share. And so we discussed that they have wider range of subjects available. Number 4, they show more sensitivity to each other's feelings, especially empathy. You know, as I was doing my master's, I had to work with 6 supervisors from my master's to my PhD in counseling. And one of my supervisors says, Dr. Kwame, if every couple will understand the power of empathy, they will just be happy every day. Empathy simply means I put myself in your shoes and I express my communication accordingly. For example, I can say that you don't help me around the house. I can also say that I know that you work so hard for us. I was just hoping that when you come and I take a little break, you can help me around the house. You speak with empathy. Always talk with.
Yeah, grace, please.
So that is important. Empathy and validation is so critical in our lives. Empathy and validation. I realize that this is what you are doing. You are helping me. You are doing this. You always have something good to say. You speak, you express your need through recognizing the strength of the person. Anyway, so I keep going. They preserve the communication channels and keep them open. They do not pull the silent trigger. When people marry, I always said, and as we are not mature in the first time that you marry, you know, and something happens between the two of you, your husband goes sleep almost far to the bed, you know, and the wife goes to sleep almost far to the left. And even a little wind will hit everybody to the floor. And the devil is jumping in the middle. Hey, hey, hey. That is when people are still maturing. Okay. That's what happens. When you are maturing, you want to make sure we will not do this. We will talk before the next day. As you mature, you don't do that. You don't you close the gap in your bed, in the bed. Okay, you close the gap. Anyway, the last one, you learn your spouse style and communicate accordingly. We accommodate each other's style and we influence each other. So this is a major difference, and I'm going to go straight into other area. These are major concerns in marriage. Okay, so I talk about communication. Now I'm going to talk about companionship. I have coined a word called friendshipping. And those of you who are good, help me copyright that word, friendshipping. Instead of saying companionship, I just want to use the word friendshipping. When you become friends as couples, oh my goodness, it's sexy. It's, Lord, give me words. It's great. You know, Jesus said to the disciples, he says, I no longer call you slaves, I call you friends, because I have revealed everything to you. As you get closer and closer and closer, you become friends. So companionship. The other thing is intimacy. And you cannot not have sex as couples. That's just, doesn't make sense. I pay for gas. I pay for my money, for my car note. I pay for my mortgage, and I pay for the water, and I pay for this. And something that God gives to us to enjoy. Hey, people. Anyway, the day I meet you all couples, I'm gonna be very mad with you all. We need some crazy stuff going on. And today we have singles with us. Cooperation, we need to support each other. One other issue is money. I call it money model or money arrangement. How you talk about your money. So I just want to leave it like this, and I want all people to send me questions. So we are done with the couples. This is it. Amen. Let's now yes to singles. So I'm going to share another PowerPoint, and I would like you to, like I said, the more questions you ask me, the better I feel.
Okay, so Dr. I'm going to put the, while you're pulling that up, let me just put the question slide up so that people can start putting in their questions. And my hope
Awesome.
is by the time you're done your second part, that they have some questions already in Slido. So please feel free to just go ahead and scan or go to slido.com and put in 3563270. Chinaza, please help me to just drop those numbers in the chat. Or Adriel, whoever is working admin, if you can just help me with that. And then as Dr. Frimpong is getting ready to share his slides, we can have these ready to go. Okay. All right, I'll stop the share for now, and Dr. Frimpong, back over to you.
Thank you so much. So how to build and maintain Christ-centered relationship is the topic for those of us who are now preparing to get married. And you can ask me any question. So my name is Dr. Kwame Frimpong, founder of Let's Love Right. I am currently an associate professor at Pentecostal Theological Seminary in Tennessee. So I'm going to go ahead. How do we, so I put together about 9 different things I want to share with those of us who are in their stage of getting married or preparing or praying and thinking about it, and some things we want to take a look at. Now, before I forget, I want to say that one of the biggest challenge for choosing your life partner is physical attraction. Physical attraction. You need a tall, description, V shape, C shape. You want this, you want that, you want some attraction. Some people even believe that if I meet the person the first time and I wasn't attracted to the person, then it wasn't love. Science is saying right now that love at first sight is not true. It's actually attraction at first sight. Really, that's what you're saying, attraction at first sight. So, Dr. Kwame, if I meet somebody I'm not attracted to, don't you think maybe it wasn't for me? Well, that's part of what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm here in Ghana, so I'll say tonight because it's almost 1 o'clock here. Okay, so first, the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of marriage mentors. Marriage mentors. Now, my wife and I have 3 children, 27, 25, and 20. I think I'm right. So I'm telling you, we have them. We have you in my home. We got you people in my home. Okay. I studied Indian arranged marriage versus American choice marriage. And I made some conclusions. But one of the reasons why we are having watches, according to David Army Orson's 2005, in 2005, there were 2.3 million marriages in the United States, 2.3. However, by the end of the first 2 years, 1.2 million divorces were recorded. Okay, so it's about 48% ended within the first 2 years. However, they said that their meta-analysis conducted in 2003 showed that the overall effect of educational or mentoring, like you're doing here, intervention, improve marital outcome by 79%. So what does that mean? It means that when people are mentored into marriage, most of them will be satisfied and the marriage will last long. Mentoring. And that's exactly what is happening right here. Unfortunately, young people don't involve mentors in their marriage. Mentoring so that's the first thing I want to talk about, that it plays a huge role. I wish I could ask all of you singles, do you have a mentor? Do you have somebody that is leading you the way? Because that is so important to help you. You see, in the Bible, 95% of all Bible couples had mentors. Isaac married to Rebecca. Eliezer was the coach. He was Dr. Kwame Frimpong. He was the guide. He was the person guiding them, showing them the way, and be the GPS of the marriage. But this generation don't have the GPS system, and Naomi was the mentor for Ruth and Boaz. Oh, I love the story. It's just amazing. You can see how Naomi guided Ruth in the whole process. We have Jethro. Jethro actually introduced his daughter to Moses. And he played two roles. He was father-in-law. He was also a guide, a coach. He was a mentor to Moses himself. Do you have a mentor? Pharaoh mentored Joseph's marriage. Esther mentored Mordecai. In fact, Titus 2:4-8, Paul told Titus, he says, encourage the elderly women. Can somebody read for me Titus 2:4-8, please? Can somebody read Titus 2:4-8? Titus 2:4-8.
All right, I got it for you, Dr. Frimpong.
Okay, thank you.
That they admonish the young women to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, homemakers, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be blasphemed. Likewise, exhort the young men to be sober-minded in all things, showing yourself to be a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing integrity, reverence, and incorruptibility, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that one who is an opponent may be ashamed, having nothing evil to say of you.
Thank you, Pastor. So Paul told Titus, he says, you Titus, I like you Titus to be a model for the young men. But for the women, I don't want you to be the model. I want the elderly women to be the guide to the younger ladies and teach them how to love. Oh, wow. I thought love is natural. No. Love is not natural. I want the elderly women to train the younger generation how to love their husbands, prepare them for marriage. But today, if you look at society today, a lot of people who marry without any type of mentor. And so they make their own decisions and they go blind because love can blind you. Right now, in the last couple of years, science can actually explain that when people are in love, they go blind. It's just something in the brain is deactivated. Love can blind us, scientifically proven. And when love blinds you, who is going to be your eyes? It's your mentor. So mentoring is important then. And so I want to say that you see this iceberg, right? Okay. The next thing I talk about is that love alone is not enough for a marriage to work. Love alone is not enough. In the Garden of Eden, the word love was not mentioned. I would think that for the first marriage, there will be a lot of love. Love was not mentioned. However, we know that God is love. So everything he does is love, but it wasn't mentioned. I'd like you to take a look at this iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg is, I can actually do this. Okay. So the tip of the iceberg is the passion, the feeling love. That is where you really, the butterfly feelings, when you meet somebody and you feel like, oh, we love each other. You just feel, you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And for many people, that is when they feel like this is God, because you know, almost every week, I meet a client, especially women, who cry, who's crying because she's in love. And the person that she's in love with don't love her like that. And she's, no, I'm trying. I have to, because oftentimes we have come to believe that love alone is enough. No, it's not. So I put love at the tip of the iceberg. See that iceberg can withstand storms in the ocean, but what makes the iceberg strong is not the tip of the iceberg. It's not the sparkle. It is not the butterfly feelings. It is not the the vibes. No. It is what is beneath of the tip of the iceberg. And that is when the trust, the dedication, the commitment, the transparency, all the things that they are all inside. You don't even see them. They are inside. Those are what makes the iceberg solid, strong, established, powerful to withstand the storms in the ocean. But they are not the fancy things that we see. They are not. But most people don't care about that. All they care for is the top one, the sparkle, the nice, the feelings, the this and the that. And unfortunately, I call this the iceberg of love. Many people cry, disappointed, because they were all almost moved by the top and they didn't care about what is going on here. Some time ago, I did a YouTube video, love and trust. Which one establishes marriage? Love and trust. I'm telling you, hey, love and trust. Which one? Which is which? I thought it's love. So we need to understand mentoring, and we also need to understand that love alone is not enough. The feeling aspect of it. Somebody read for me 1 Timothy 1, verse 5, please. 1 Timothy 1 and verse 5. Please. 1 Timothy 1. Please. Thank you, Pastor.
It says, now the purpose of the commandment is love from a pure heart, from a good conscience, and from sincere faith.
Stay right there. He says, the purpose of what? Can you go back?
Yes. The purpose of the commandment is love.
Okay. Wait. So Paul was writing to Timothy, and Paul says, the purpose of this is love. But love flow from three different, it says love that flow from where? Please go ahead.
Love from a pure heart.
Hold on.
From
hold
a
on,
good
hold on.
conscience.
Hold on. Pure heart, good conscience, and what?
Sincere faith.
Sincere faith. Please write them down. He didn't say just love. No. He says love, but it flows from three different areas. I don't have time to unpack this, but I'll talk about one of them. He says, from a pure heart and a good conscience. Okay. Oh, I'm getting excited. Not only love, but the love flows from a pure heart and a good conscience. Now, your conscience is what helps you to determine what is morally good and what is morally wrong, or right and wrong and good and bad. So your conscience is your GPS. It is very possible that you are in love with somebody truly, and the person is in love with you, but one of you doesn't have a good conscience. And when there's no a good conscience, you're gonna suffer a lot. Does not make the love palatable, doesn't make the love great, because they behave anyhow. They act anyhow. They don't care about anything. They are in love with you, all right, but they don't have the conscience, the parameters to operate in this love. And Paul talk about three things. Chemistry love, watch this. Chemistry love alone is dangerous. I just put it down. Chemistry, love alone, because chemistry, love stems from the chemicals in the brain. Now, it is not wrong. So, especially when you meet somebody the first time and you are really in love, it's not wrong. But that is chemistry love. Okay. Now, when chemistry love, say this, it is chemically induced and it fades away in 2 years. Chemistry love is chemically induced and it fades away in 2 years. But look on the right, when chemistry love is mixed with a good conscience, it matures into a pure love. And I love that. When chemistry love is mixed with a good conscience, it matures into a pure love. And that is when the relationship is really moving in the direction where God wants it to move. When chemistry love, so chemistry love is not bad, but chemistry love alone doesn't make it work. It's actually dangerous because in the first 2 years, this is when people say, oh, I fell out of love. You don't, because you fall in, you fall out. So when chemistry love is mixed with a good conscience, it matures into a pure. I like you to keep this in mind. When chemistry love is mixed with a good conscience, it matures into a pure love. Okay. Now, here are things that I'd like you to look at, all of you singles who are going to get married, how to build and maintain Christ-centered relationship. I put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 things. We're going to take about 5 minutes, and then we're going to be asking questions. What makes a marriage work? Last Sunday I preached for a pastor. I preached about how to avoid bad marriage. Avoiding bad marriage. What makes a marriage work? Number 1 is that you have shared values. Shared values. In fact, for me, shared values, I will go for shared values than the feeling of love. I'm choosing my words carefully. I said the feeling of love. I'll go with shared values. Because when we all have similar core values, respect, honor, dignity, communication, transparency, we all understand that, oh my goodness, we are going somewhere. Shared values. We are value-driven. Number 2, communication. Communication. How we talk to each other and how we understand the importance of communication. Number 3, transparency and trust. Please, let me explain this. The word love was not mentioned in the Garden of Eden. Now, but the word transparency was implied. Let's look at where it says Adam and Eve were naked and yet not ashamed. Is that in Genesis 2:20? Can somebody read for me, please? Adam and Eve were naked and yet not ashamed. Let's read that. Adam and Eve were naked and yet not ashamed.
All right. Dr. Frimpong. So Genesis 2:20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Genesis 2:20 says, so Adam gave names to all the
Oh,
cattle.
sorry, I'm sorry. Let's go back to where it says that they were, please, you are all Bible students. Let's look for I think it's Genesis 2, somewhere.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 2:25.
Okay,
And
thank you.
They were both naked, the man
Mm-hmm.
and his wife, and they were not ashamed.
Okay, so Adam and Eve were naked. That speaks of transparency. They were not ashamed. They were vulnerable. Okay, this is very important. They were naked and vulnerable. Let me ask you all people who are here. Adam and Eve. Adam never knew how his face looked like. Neither did Eve. There was no mirror. except they go close to the water where they will see a reflection. Transparency plays a major role in all relationships. In fact, trust cannot be in isolation. Transparency gives birth to trust. Without transparency, there will never be trust. If I can't see through you, I can't trust you. That's just the simple preach, Pastor Kwame. If I can't see through you, I cannot trust you. It's very simple. Oh, you have to trust me. I don't have to trust you. I need to see through. You know, this bottle is, I can see through the bottle. So there's nothing hiding anywhere. I see through it. Adam and Eve were transparent. Now, the reason why, and Adam and Eve, this Garden of Eden alone, I prepared about 10 sermons there. And I'm very particular about the Genesis 1 and 2 because Genesis 1 and 2 is the model we have. Marriage, the first marriage God put together is Adam and Eve. And if you want to see how marriage is supposed to look like, look at Adam and Eve. They were naked and not ashamed. A complete transparency. You're going to date somebody. And the person, and you realize the person is lying, the person is giving you half truth. The person says, I am around. I am around where? Are you in Vancouver or you are in Toronto? You say, I'm around. Can you be specific? Let me give an example. Okay, let me give a practical example. When God told Adam, Adam, where are you?
I'm around.
And Adam says, I am running away. I am running away. Adam could not give God a specific answer to where he was. And I see that in a lot of relationships, people don't tell people clearly where they are, even in the relationship, whether they are dating or they're having courtship. They are confused. And then they run into a situationship. And the reason why people don't know where they are in the relationship is because somebody is not being transparent. It's as simple as ABCD. And they are wasting people's time. People, you are not growing younger. We are not growing, you are not going downward, you are going upward. And the person has been with you for 5 years. And the person having told you, I want to marry you. And he said, really, you are in a dark place. I thought I didn't come to preach. I thought I'm coming to teach. So why are you preaching? All right, I'll slow down. Let me slow down. Okay.
Preach, Dr. Kwame. Preach. Don't stop.
Okay. This transparency thing I'm talking about, it is so critical why a lot of people have found themselves during dating, and they have been dating for 1,000 years and they are still dating. They go merry-go-round. And even I, outside of you, can look at you and the person, and I can tell you that there is no transparency anywhere. Just this week, one of my clients is crying. She's crying because he told her that, no, I didn't tell her that we are going to date. She said, no, you told me because your actions. And I said, wait a minute, actions? People, this is the reason why one person is dating multiple people. And what makes me so angry is, I mean, both men and women, but especially the ladies, when they get into that, they go blind. I say, Jesus Christ is Lord. Really? Can't you see? Let me give you a scenario. Okay, we were living in Raleigh 2002. My wife says I got PTSD, and I think it's true. I think she's right. We had one car, and I didn't have a job. I had a job, but the money wasn't much. So the repo guy was looking to repo the car. So I will park the car like half a mile, and I walk home every day because the repo wanted to repo the car. And so I will park the car somewhere. One day, my wife cooked some food, and she told me that she's cooked one African food, and I forgot to park the car. I drove the car home. The repo man that night came for the car, and I didn't have a car, and we had 2 children. So I told myself, I will never buy a car and pay car note again. Well, last 4 years, somebody hit me at the back and gave us money to buy a car. My wife says, I had now become Dr. Kwame, so I need a nice car. Yay. So doctor, so, okay, baby girl, okay, let's do this. Okay. But I am not going to get car note. So my wife said, okay, well, the money we have is not enough to get me the car I need to buy for you. So we were all talking, and when I went to the Lord, my face was like a stone. The guy says, Mr. Frimpong, yes, sir. Do you want test drive? No. You don't want it? No test drive. Don't put me in the car and then tell me this and show me this and show me this. And it's like, hey. And then I said, tell me how much it costs. Now, I'm using this to tell people, so many people get their emotions into a situation, in a relationship, before they now figure out if they trust the person. Pulling your emotions back, sisters and brothers, is not fun. So before you put your emotions in there, ensure that you know that there's transparency. There's absolute transparency. Anyway, next one is a sense of God's purpose. When you're going to meet somebody and you are getting closer to the person and thinking about marrying, dating, or courtship, marriage was not made for us. Marriage was actually made for God. Marriage was made to fulfill God's purpose. So what do you feel the purpose of God in this situation? The next one is emotional support. Do you feel like there's emotional support in there? The next one is accountability. I'm just running here, and then I like you to ask questions. Adam and Eve. I'm using Adam and Eve as a model for happy marriage. And there's a lot next time that we talk about. I'll give you all the model. Adam and Eve had somebody they were accountable to. Now, if you're going to date somebody and the person says, oh, don't tell anybody, so you want it, it's not in anybody's business. No, it's everybody's business. No, we are not going to play that music. Somebody must be aware of this, okay? Somebody must be aware of this. In counseling, we say two are not always stable. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. We need a third person to be with us. You don't, no. You are hiding something. That is why you don't want anybody to be a light in this relationship. Pastor Kwame, really, yes. We need a mature person to know that we are dating. Reach on Pastor Kwame Frimpong. Somebody must be aware of the dating. Otherwise, somebody will drop you off on the highway and you cry. We are all tired. We are tired. Okay, we are tired. Somebody must be aware of happening. We need an accountability. Adam and Eve were accountable to God. They were the only couples whose parents were both God. God was their physical parent, and they were also their spiritual parent. Anytime something goes wrong, God will call them to account. Hallelujah, I love that. When I look at many marriages preparing to marry and all that, the reason why many people run into a problem is that they don't have anybody they are accountable to. So the same guy or the same girl who said, I'll marry you, see somebody else and say, oh my goodness, I wish I had taken my time. I wouldn't have made this decision. And then I come out with an excuse and say, girl, I wanted to say, oh, the girl. And then boom, we break up because we didn't have any sense, anybody to be accountable to. In fact, accountability plays a key role, a major role in dating. Respect, commitment, friendship, and people. I am done.